All right, so today I'm going to show how to clean our Ikon Walker lane machine. I'm going to go step by step on how to do that. We're going to clean and refill today. I'll make another video on how to change the duster cloth whenever that time comes too, so stay tuned for that video. But right now I'm going to show how to clean our lane machine here. So first I'm going to start out by taking out my oil sprayer. Just going to lay this off to the side. That way I have full access to my whole buffer brush here. So now I'm going to grab my air compressor. We have an air compressor that we use to blow this out. So I'm going to grab that up, hook that up. I already have it filled with air. And now I'm just going to blow out the inside of this machine. So whenever I'm doing this, make sure we're getting inside this little brown brush, bristle brushes here, and then in our blue brush here, in the back here. Gonna make sure you get all the lint off because this is where our oil is getting put down on. So to make sure that's all clear and no lint and debris is gonna get put on the lane while the oil is also trying to get on the lane. All right, so once I've got that blown out, I can then unhook my air compressor and I'll let the air out here in a second. So now I'm gonna go down below and we're gonna fill this machine up with our cleaner and oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my oil tip back in its slot. But first, I'm gonna make sure I wipe it off because this also gets lint and debris on it. So I'm gonna wipe that off first before I put it back in there. And then I'll make sure I put that back in its slot. This housing where the oil tip goes, you're going to make sure that's on this last screw, but right before the last screw. If it starts anywhere before or past it, it can blow a fuse inside the machine, and you're going to run into a lot bigger issues. Then once that's good to go, I'm good there. So now I'm going to come down to my case for the cleaner and oil. We're going to have two tanks. You're going to have a small tank for a conditioner and then a larger tank for the cleaner. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and fill up my oil container. I'm going to put down a rag so that I don't get any drips anywhere else. So here I like to set our lids to our containers up on top here. That way, whenever we go to close this lid, we have to knock that lid over. So that way, we know we didn't put that back on here. That's just going to assure us that we did put that cap back on here because we don't want the next mechanic to come in, lift this machine up thinking it's ready to go, but it's not, and then they've gotten the oil everywhere and wasted oil and everything like that. So we have a funnel here that we use. So I like to clean this out before every use. So we have a little bin of here of towels. I just like to clean it out the inside so that way possibly any cleaner that's gotten inside of there I can get out, make it dry for my use, and then I'll clean it whenever I get done after too. So I just spray it down with some isopropyl alcohol and then wipe it down. That way I know there's nothing else in there right now and only the oil is going to be in there. So make sure I dry it all up. Just completely dry, get all the alcohol out of there. Now it's completely dry and ready to go for use. So come back over here to my oil. So you're going to fill this up to about an inch, about 2 inches from the top from the top here. So we're going to fill about an inch from the top worth of oil. Same thing for your cleaner. All right, so now that I've gotten it cleaned out, I'm going to go ahead and start filling this up with our conditioner. I'm going to fill up to that mark that I have in there. Again, you want to watch to make sure that you're doing this right. You want to overflow. It's going to be pretty difficult trying to get that level back down. Put too much in there. I've got that to my mark. Go ahead and put that away. I'm going to come back through and clean my funnel out. That way it's ready to go for the next person. All right, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe up my area and then put my cap back on. That's good to go. Now I'm gonna come over to my cleaner side. Again, I got the exact same mark on my cleaner side. Fill up to that mark there. Now here, whenever you go to fill up fast, it's going to start bubbling up. So what you can do, or what I do, is I'll put a towel over the top of it. That way the towel will collect all the bubbles and then I can still continue to fill. So I've got bubbles coming up now. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap my towel around the nose of this. Okay, now that I've got that up to my mark, go ahead and put my lid back on, wipe up my area. Then I'm good to go. Now to make sure that I've got both lids on, secured and tight. Again, you want to over tighten these because you might mess those threads up on the tank itself. So just make sure they're pretty snug, that they won't come loose is all. I'm going to lock my case back in. Make sure my oil dispenser is at this right spot and locked in its housing. All right, so now that I've gotten my machine in a standing position, I'm gonna go ahead and blow out the bottom side of my brusher. And go ahead and set this off to the side. I'm done with that for now. Grab some more rags you're gonna want to wipe off this bottom part of the felt here. Debris can build up in there and then I'll drop down on your machine whenever you set it down and run through your lanes. To wipe off these white rollers here, they touch the lane, so make sure those are clean. And then just wipe down my squeegee blade one last time. Make sure I get this as dry as possible. I'll make a video on how to change out this squeegee blade soon whenever it's time for us to do that, so stay tuned for that video also. Once I've got that pretty dry, good to go. Cleaner tanks and everything's filled and wiped off and blown out, I'm good to go. Thanks for watching.